Welcome to Imperfect Momming. Our children are constantly looking to us for examples. The term role model doesn't quite cut it here. We are shaping their worldview with every move we make. You see, it's not in the lectures we give or moments where we are actively attempting to teach them. It's in the micro movements we make, the unconscious ways in which we navigate life. We are constantly teaching our children how to show up for themselves, their friends, their future partners, and even their future children. So what can we do to ensure we are raising thoughtful, compassionate, self-aware human beings? We have to become them ourselves. No one is perfect, but we can still all be better, and it starts with self-healing. Let's get to it. Good morning and welcome to Mom Happy Hour. Couple days late, but never a dollar short. And if you're listening on the Imperfect Momming podcast, welcome. I normally come on Mondays, and I think last time I said that I would be going live from Monterey, and I didn't because it was a little. Monday was busy, busy packing, busy coming home. And then I was going to go live yesterday, and it was busy again. So I have my weeks pretty scheduled out for where I do these things on Monday and I do these things on Tuesday and so on and so forth. And so when I don't have Monday to do the things that I usually do on Monday, then everything got shifted. And then yesterday I was just feeling really behind because I was trying to do the Tuesday things as well as trying to do the Monday things. And I really didn't realize how I was feeling until I kind of realized that I was feeling a little behind. But one of my friends texted me that I usually talk to every day, and she texted me that she misses me, and it just my whole body reacted to to that statement. And it was interesting because I made it mean that I wasn't being a good friend. Isn't that funny? When I was going to be gone for 5 days because we were spreading my dad's ashes, and I don't know, I was just living life, and I was being with my family, and I was being present in the moment. And then when I came home, it was like, oh, I'm failing at friendship, and that's not what she was saying. She was just saying, I miss you. I haven't talked to you in 5 days. Anyways, we had a big laugh about it this morning. So there's an episode that I recorded of the podcast that'll be released, I want to say in September. I'm pretty far ahead. And we were talking about bullying, and this mom was bullied as a child, and when her daughter was in kindergarten and was bullied, it really threw her back into her being bullied days. And that's what led her to healing her own wounds and becoming a coach to help other moms inside that role. And what's funny about that to me is that my phone starts going off in the middle of the podcast. What's funny about that to me is that a couple of things. Number one, we never know in what ways becoming a parent is going to trigger us. And for her, that was one way. And it also was the catalyst for her becoming a life coach. And I remember saying that we all have something, all of us, coaches all have something that propel us into becoming a coach, where we learned some lesson, and it brought up, moms need to know about this, right? And my son was sitting there when I said it happens to all of us, and he's like, what was it for you? Which I couldn't answer at that moment, because that wasn't what the podcast was about in that moment. But I don't even know if you can hear him on the podcast ask the question. The other thing that's funny about that episode and it happening when it did is that this morning I had, one of my moments of mama bear rising up and wanting to attack. And I think it was because of the conversation that I was able to stay calm in the situation. So my son is in science Olympiads, which is something I'd never even heard of before he volunteered to do it. And he really wanted to be a part of it. And ever since so it happens on Tuesday evenings, or after school on Tuesdays, and then I pick him up. And every single time I've gone to pick him up, he's been in tears because of the dynamics between his teacher and him. And yesterday it came to a boil, and I got several different versions of the story from my son. One was that he quit, and one was that the teacher kicked him out. I think it was a mixture of both. And so I really felt confused about what was going on and why this was happening. And 100%, it feels to me like this teacher is picking on my son. And I know that that's not 100% accurate, because I only know my son's perspective. And I know that he wants to still be in science Olympiads. I know that he can't switch teachers, because that teacher is the only one that teaches the subject he wants to do. And so I had the impulse to go to school and talk to the principal. I kind of thought that I've had many conversations with the principal, so I'm not just, overreacting by going first immediately to the principal. She and I have had several conversations in the past, and so she knows my son, and she knows who I am by voice, and I know her by voice, but I didn't necessarily know her by face. But I was going to go into the office and just leave a message to ask them to have her call me. And she was standing there and held the door open for me to go into the office. And I was like, aren't you the principal? And she said, yes, I am. And I said, I'd love to speak with you. It doesn't have to be right now, but I'd love to speak with you about something. And she said, I have 15 minutes. If we can resolve it in 15 minutes, let's do it now. So I just explained to her that I want to understand the situation, because I only have an 11-year-old's perspective. And this 11-year-old happens to be my child, who probably views the world the same way that I did for most of my life, and probably even still now, where this is me and this is the universe. And if you're not watching the video, I'm the sun, and the universe revolves around me. So it's always been a joke in my family, but most jokes are based on some fact. And all things have always revolved around me in some way, shape, or form. And pretty much everybody is like that. Most people have a natural, like thinking about others, and mine is I've learned to think about others, not just about how it feels to me. So I know that my son thinks that the universe revolves around him and all things are happening to him. I'm trying to teach him that things happen for you, not against you. Like everything happens for your benefit in some way, shape, or form. And anyway, so I just want more information, because if this teacher just doesn't like my son because he asked why, then I think that needs to be addressed. And if my son is the problem, then that needs to be addressed. And whether the teacher is the problem or my son is the problem, my son is the solution. Teaching him how to deal with the situation is the solution. So it's not, let's get the teacher fired, let's get the students in learning the airplanes to go to another teacher, let's have another teacher facilitate it. Like, the solution isn't external. The solution is internal for my son. And that's the truth for all of us. So when there's a problem, no matter what the problem is, we tend to try to control the problem. We try to say, for example, my friend who said she missed me, this is a perfect example. I could say, hey, friend, don't tell me that you miss me, because when you tell me that you miss me, it makes me feel this way. So you stop that so I don't have to feel this way. Instead, I am going to manage my emotions, manage how I'm feeling. And I did tell her, right now, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, and hearing that you missed me alerted me to that feeling. And I just need a little bit of space right now. So I'm communicating my needs to her, and I'm not asking her to change her behavior. She probably will, because that's who she is, but that's not what I'm asking for. And so with my son, we're going to teach him that, you know, I want more information so that I can figure out what I want to teach him about the situation. Because if this teacher really is just a jerk or doesn't like my son for whatever reason, that's something that he does have to learn to deal with, because in life, we are going to run across people that don't like us. We are going to run across people who have authority over us that we don't like. And we can constantly go job hopping and looking for someone who does like us, but ultimately we could keep job hopping and keep bouncing around. It doesn't solve the problem. The problem is internal. So that is what was on my heart today, and I appreciate you all for being I just saw Sammy's comment. So I'm live in our Facebook group, and I love when people love what I'm saying. So thank you, Sammy. And hi. Anyway, so I appreciate you all being here and being gracious with my tardiness and that it is for a good reason. And I was thinking about you all. And there will be another episode of Imperfect Momming released on Thursday this week. I will be back live on Monday next week, inside the Mom Happy Hour, inside the Moms Conquering Guilt Facebook group. If you're not a part of this group, you're welcome to join it. And until then, guys, keep healing. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to Imperfect Momming. It's time for us to step up and realize that our power is not in trying to shape our children. Our power lies in shaping ourselves into the people we want our children to model themselves after. Don't just do it for your kids. Do it for yourself. When you become a more self-aware, compassionate, and confident person, you and everyone around you benefit. For more information about me and my work, visit AliciaLyons.com. That's ALYSIALYONS.com. See you next time.